Hey guys, Leno here from LenoFX.com. Today we are going to talk about clones in Motion 5, Apple Motion 5. This is a very important topic, especially when you create patterns or you want to create some complex project, but sometimes if you duplicate the layers, it can leave your project very heavy in demanding process power. So clones help you make your project is lighter on your machine. So this is a great way to replicate some text. You can clone videos, images, text, shapes, drop zones, anything you want. And then I'm going to talk about the difference between sometimes when you clone layers or use links or use a replicator, because sometimes it can be a little bit confusing what's the best time to use one or the other one. So I'm going to explain how clones work, and then I'm going to explain some situations where it can be useful to learn how to use clones. Okay, so don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you want to learn next after this live, because I'm setting some live events for the next week, and then I want your opinion, what you want to learn. Okay, so this is very important to me, because what you want to learn, I'm going to teach you here. All right, I have some ideas that you guys gave me, so let me know where you're from, what's your name. Antonio, hi Antonio, thanks for being here, great to see you here. I think my audio is distorting, and that's not good. The audio is a very important part of the video. So hi guys, where are you from? Antonio is from New York. Great, Antonio. Don't forget guys to hit the like button, to subscribe to the channel. This is very important, all right? And I'm setting some lives beforehand, so if you want to learn something from the lives that I'm setting to the future, set the reminder so you can be notified when we are live, all right? 4 people live, that's awesome. We are going to start in a minute, okay? Here is 8 p.m. I'm in Brazil. I'm Leno from LenoFX.com, if you don't know me yet. And here we are talking about Motion 5, Final Cut Pro 10, and in the near future we are going to talk about macOS, Catalina, maybe talk about ScreenFlow. That's the software that I use to edit our tutorials. What else? What else could you talk about? I want to talk about iMovie, because I see that a lot of video editors that comes from iMovie and moves to Final Cut Pro 10. So I want to teach people iMovie, then move them to Final Cut when they want more professional results, more flexibility. Howdy from Tennessee, Richard. Hi Richard, welcome. I think it's the first time I see you here. That's awesome, thanks for being here. All right, so let's start and talk about clone layers in Apple Motion 5. This is a great topic, and it can be simple, but it can be very complex. So I'm going to show some examples, and you will start to use clone layers in your projects for sure, because it's just amazing how it works. Very simple, but very powerful as well. So let me share my screen. Here I'm taking some examples, design examples, so we can try to replicate using clone layers, or sometimes we can use Replicator or something else. Command N to create a new project. All right. Hey Sidekick, how are you, my friend? How's it going? So let's create a motion project. Just double click, Command Shift R, F6. Now I can see the canvas. To begin, let's create a text, T, and let's create a simple text, T. Let me call it, let's call it Sidekick. 202, ask, escape key, F1, F4, and then we can change the size, we can change the color, anything you want. To clone the layer, right click and then select make clone layer. The command is, the shortcut is K. Always try to remember K for clone. Now with the clone layer selected, click and drag to the side. This is the clone and this is the original. So everything that you move, change in this tab, that is, this tab changes from layer to layer. If I have a shape, this tab will be called layer, shapes. So everything you change here will affect the clone layer. Look, size, tracking, color, anything. If you change the text, the clone layer will change as well. If you change the color, look, the opacity, all right? But if you go to the properties tab and change the properties, any parameter here, it will not affect the clone layer. This is very important, okay? So if I move, if I rotate, scale, change opacity, blend mode, and so on, will not affect the clone layer. But if you add FX, for example, if I add a blur to the original text, let's add a blur, Gaussian blur, and make it stronger, the effect, command /, you can see that the effect affects also the clone layer. If you create a mask, let's select the text, and we can't clone the mask, or we can't mask the text. Why not? Let's use a shape as an example. Command G, let's create a shape. Let me disable this. Command G, R, create a rectangle, and then clone with K, move it to the side, and then we can add a blur. Just come here and option drag to the original. As you can see, the clone is affected as well. Let's select the shape and select the mask tool, rectangle. If I mask the original, the clone will be affected as well. But if you change the properties, it will not affect the clone. If you change the properties from the clone, it will not affect the original as well. And if you want to add more blur to the clone, you can option drag and make it stronger and add a different effect to the clone independently of the original. Okay? Also, you can go ahead and clone the clone. K to clone the clone, and then move to the side, and again option click and drag to add some more effect. Okay? You can go ahead and select the group and clone the group, move to the side as well. You can come here and rotate 9 degrees, for example, Shift V, and then you could move to the side. Okay? And then let's say you want to put everything inside a group, Command G, select both, put inside, clone this group, come here and add another defocus or anything you want, and then F1, move to the side, and then change the opacity. So that's why I say that it can be simple, but it can get very complex. All right, this is the clone layer. It's very, very powerful. So here I could clone this layer and then make a mask or something like that. Okay, let's see another example. Let's say, let me delete everything here, and let's say that you want to the properties to affect the clone. Let me show you how you can do that. Command G, create something like this. Let's create a rectangle. Hold down the Shift key, F1, and then I can reset. So let's say I want the properties, position, scale, and anything to affect the clone. To do that, you don't clone the layer, let's say this shape. You clone the group, K. So everything that I change here in the properties, or let's say this, let me move the clone to the side, because I clone the group. So everything inside the group will affect the copy, the clone. Let's see. Look. All right. So if I move to the side, it will affect the clone. So this is very nice. Let's see again. Let's start all over again. Let's say that I have here R, Shift, click and drag, F1, reset, and then I want two copies. One go to this side and one go to the other side. How can you do that? Very simple. Just come here, clone the layer, and then let me move just a little bit. If you change the position, it will move to the same side, like that. But if you rotate in the Y scale, Y rotation, 180 degrees, it will move to the other side. Look, to the opposite side. Nice, right? So, how can you animate that? You could come here, let's put this as 0, and this one 0 as well. And then you could come here and add a keyframe, Shift right arrow, keyframe, go back to the previous one, 0, and then Command 8. And then here you could move it, position, add a keyframe, Shift right arrow, add a keyframe, go back to the previous one. No, I want to go to the other one, and then move like that. And then I could come here and change the curve. Look. And then I could Command left, F, and Control Z. Let me make a easy in. Move this, Command left arrow. Nice. Command right arrow. Good. So, as you can see, we rotated this layer 180 degrees. So anything this does move to the side, the other one will do the opposite. Another way that you can do that, let's delete the copy, is by creating a clone, like the shape, K to clone, and we could link the position. Just click here, add parameter behavior, link, put this one here, and change the scale to -1 to do the opposite. This is one way, but the other way is very easy as well. Okay. Also, let me see another example. You could copy a drop zone. Let's add a drop zone. Come to the add object, drop zone. Let me add a video or picture so you can see. Let me add a video. Click and drag, let go. Let me make it smaller. Command 1, F1. Make it smaller. And then I could come here and clone the group, let's say. And then I can come here and move to the side, but rotate this layer 180 degrees. So I can come and do a copy like this. Okay, I could come to this one and let's see, clone the original again, put here in another group and call it background. Rename it and call it background. Command left bracket, make it bigger, make it 100%, and make like this, and then I could add a, let's say, blur, Gaussian blur, add this effect, apply the crop to make the edges better, to remove this effect. Great. Okay, so if you add the drop shadow here to this layer, it would affect the other one. Look, it will add to the copy, to the clone as well, but the drop shadow, the position is inverted. Okay, so maybe the best option would be to add these two, Command G, to a group, and then add a drop shadow to this group instead. Okay, because then the two drop shadows works the same way. All right, so now let's play. Good. Okay, so that's a way of doing this. Or let's say that I don't want this one like this. Let me remove the 180 degrees. Let me just delete. Come to this one and reset the position. Let's make it clone, K, and then make it bigger a little bit. Move below, command left bracket, and then here we could make the opacity less opaque, like this. You can do a lot of stuff. You could, for example, clone this layer, move below here like this, and then rotate in the X position like this, 100 minus 180. Then come here, add a mask like this, and then we could go to mask, add a feather, but let's command / let's move the mask, something like this. Make the feather even bigger and move it. Good. And then we could add the Gaussian blur to this layer, just a little bit, and then change the opacity, F1, then change the opacity, so we can have a copy. We could come to the 4 corners and distort this layer if you want. But the best thing is command / come here, distort, and then you could distort any way you want. Okay, great. Let me delete this and show you some other example. Let's say that I want several copies of this layer, one after the other, one by one, side by side, several, like 3 columns. You could do using clone layers, but I like to use in this case replicators. So let me delete this. Let me delete the background I want to use. So what I can do is put this one outside, and then we could disable this one, make a L to replicate, or click here. And then command /, you can move to here and do something like this. Come to the replicators, and let's say I want three columns and 3 rows, like that. And then you can come and change the arrangement. Let's say that I want something like this. I can come to the position, reset the position. So this is another way of cloning the layers, but in a more organized way. Okay, it's like the same thing, but with the replicator effect. So if I change the content inside the drop zone, I will change as well the copies. All right, I could come here and clone the replicator as well, and change the blend mode to overlay, and maybe change the opacity here, or to hard light, anything you want. Okay, maybe you could add some glow, I don't know, you can be very creative with that. Or maybe blur prism look with it, without it, opacity. Let's add another video to see different results. Yeah, this is beautiful. Let me turn it. Oh, look, without, with. You can come here and disable. Let me see if I have. No, I don't have drop shadow on. Okay, so that's it, how you can like clone the layers but using replicator. Sometimes you can link. Let me show you one situation where the link is good. If you want to like maybe clone but not clone, let me show you. Let's say here I have Samuel. Hello Samuel, how are you, my friend? Let's see, will the font change as well? Yes, Sidekick, yes, it will. Let me show you. Let's say here that I have T and make anything. And then if I change clone K, move to the side, F4, if I change the format, the font, it will change as well. Because I explained in the beginning, maybe you lost the explanation. Everything that I change in this tab, in the filters tab, if I add a mask, it will affect the copy, the clone layer. Okay? So if I change the font, it will change for the clone layer as well. But let's say that I want a duplicate of this, but I don't want the same font. So let me put here LenoFX.com, and then I want another font, but the same word. What you do is you duplicate, move to here. Let's say that I want something very big, make it very big, but I want another font. So what you can do is, let me change the font. What you can do is come to the text box, link, and then put this text here. So everything that I add here, LenoFX.com or Sidekick 202. So I can change everything about this, the size, the position, everything. But if I change the text, it will affect the other one. Okay, this is a great way of having The same text do the same thing, but you have different fonts. This is especially useful when you have a font that is just an outline and then the other font have a fill. It's filled with color. You know, this is a great way, but I don't have an example here, a font, so I can show you. Let me see, Richard. Will that work with a circle within a circle spinning opposite directions? Yes, let me show you one example, Richard. Let me show you. Let me show my screen. Good. Now let's create a circle C. Hold down the shift key, click and drag F4, disable the fill, enable the outline, do something like this, put a square, none. All right, now I can do an animation like this. Now let's do something like this. Good. So let me put 100%. Place the playhead at the beginning at a keyframe, shift, right arrow, put 0, command 8, and add, hold down the command key, click and drag, hold down the shift key. So this is our animation N. And then what I can do is clone the circle, move to the side, and they will do the same thing. But let's say that I want to do the opposite, the animation, the movement. I can just change the Y rotation, 180 degrees. All right? And then I could clone both groups and make them a lot bigger and change the opacity. Maybe I could 180 degrees in the X position. So the possibilities are amazing. You can do a lot of different things with the clone layers. So let me know guys if you have any question. This is the clone layers. It's very powerful. And let me show you another example with the design. Let me show what I could do. All right. Let me show the design here. Let's see. Look, with this one, I could use a replicator. Look, I like this idea. Let me show. Let me show another thing that you could do. B. And then let's make it very big. You're going to like this, I believe. This one, maybe. No, let's use this one. Okay, let's clone one, duplicate the clone, command D. No, let me first clone K, add a colorize. All right, so think about it. What the colorize effect does: remap white to, or remap black to. So what I could do is leave it as white, add a colorize, and then change the color. F1, move to the side, duplicate, move to the side, and then change the color to something else. Command D, move to the side, and change the color for this one as well. Okay, so now you could just I need to put here as well, and then maybe I can remap white to white, no problem. And then I could publish these colorized controls. This is just amazing what you can do with this. Okay, so I could come here, command 8, command 7, and cut the layers. Right, 1, 2, 3, up, I, 1, 2, 3, up, I, 1, 2, 3, up, I. Look. And then you could clone this group, move to the side, and look. And then you could duplicate this group and then make it a lot bigger. Move to the side. Change the opacity to just, let's say, 1%. 1%. Look guys, how this is amazing. This is just awesome. Okay, so you could come here, make this all one group, command G, put everything inside the group, right click and close K, move some frames forward, and then look how nice. All right. Hey Seth, how are you, my friend? Good to see you here. James, hi James, what's up? Greetings from the USA. That's awesome. Seth, hey Leno, listening to your teaching while I work with a project with your plugins. That's awesome, my friend. That's great. Thanks for buying our product, supporting LenoFX, and that's amazing to see you here. So, do you guys have any question about what we are talking about here? Clone layers. This is very powerful. As you can see, it can be very simple, but it can be very complex as well. You need to think about the steps that you are taking so you don't get confused with the so much clone one after the other, because you can clone something, clone the clone, clone the clone, clone the group, clone the clone, clone the clone, and do something very complex. All right, we use clone layers a lot in our templates, LenoFX templates, plugins. Oh, my mouth hurts because I put the, I don't know how to say the name of this. And that's it, guys, how you can work with clone layers. I hope you like it. I don't see any question. If you have it, let me know what you want to learn next about Motion 5, Final Cut Pro 10, or anything else that I'm not talking about and you would like to learn how to do, or anything. I'm here to help you be more successful, make more money, and be more happy with your work, with your life. Anything that I can do, you can count on me. All right, so that's it, guys. I don't see any question. I hope to see you next time. Have a great night, great evening, great anything. It's, look, Sorin, it's 3 a.m. in Romania, but I couldn't miss this. Great, that's awesome, my friend. Thanks for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here. Okay, Samuel, I always confuse the use of clones and links. Sometimes both can be the same thing, right? Yes, you are right. But if you didn't see the beginning of this live, go back and watch the replay and let me know, Samuel, if you have any question, because I will answer later. All right, Kripa Pizzorno, thank you. You're welcome, my friend. It was great, Leno. Really simple and powerful. Yeah, great. James, look more closely into Motion 5 content library. Powerful. Yes, good, great. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here. See you next live training tomorrow. All right, hope to see you here. That's it. Thanks.